Right now, there's a family 3 streets away from you growing more food in their backyard than most people grow on an entire acre. Same size yard as yours, same sun, same soil. So what do they know that you don't? Because here's the truth nobody wants to admit. Most backyards in America are basically decoration. Grass that costs money to maintain, water, and mow and gives you absolutely nothing back. You're spending time and money on a lawn that produces zero food, zero savings, and zero independence. Meanwhile, grocery prices keep climbing. Eggs, produce, herbs, all of it going up every single month. And you're standing there paying $6 for a bag of spinach that's been sitting in a truck for a week. It's frustrating. It feels like you're stuck depending on a system that doesn't care about you. You want to grow your own food, but every time you think about it, it feels overwhelming. Too much space needed, too much time, too much expertise. So you don't even start. But here's what almost nobody tells you. You don't need acres. You don't need a tractor. You don't even need experience. You need a system. A specific layout that turns a normal backyard into a small, productive farm using zones most people never even think about. And once you see how these zones work together, you'll realize your backyard has been sitting there this whole time, wasted. Let's break down exactly how to do this step by step. The first zone is your foundation zone, and this is where almost everyone gets it wrong. People jump straight into planting a huge garden bed in the middle of their yard without thinking about sunlight, water access, or soil health. Before you plant anything, walk your yard and track the sun for 1 full day. Most vegetables need at least 6 hours of direct sunlight. Pick the sunniest, most accessible spot near a water source. This single decision determines whether your mini farm thrives or slowly dies. I made this mistake myself the first time I tried this. I planted tomatoes in a spot that looked sunny in the morning, but by afternoon it was in full shade, wasted an entire season. The second zone is your food zone, and this is where the real production happens. Think raised beds, not a giant plowed field. A single 4x8 raised bed can produce enough lettuce, herbs, peppers, and tomatoes to feed a family of 4 through the growing season. That's roughly 32 square feet, producing hundreds of dollars worth of produce. Studies from urban agriculture programs have shown that a well-managed 200-square-foot garden can produce over 300 pounds of vegetables in a single season. That's not a typo. 300 pounds from an area smaller than most bedrooms. The third zone is your protein zone, and this is the part that changes everything. Backyard chickens. 3 to 4 hens in a small coop can produce about 2 dozen eggs a week. That's enough for most families, and it costs way less than store-bought eggs once you factor in the long run. But here's where most beginners get it wrong. They buy a coop that's too small, don't think about predator proofing, and end up losing their flock in the first few months. Do it right, and chickens become the easiest, most rewarding part of your entire mini farm. The fourth zone is your vertical zone, and this is the one almost nobody uses. If your yard is small, you grow up, not out. Trellises for cucumbers, beans, and squash, vertical planters for strawberries and herbs. A single vertical trellis can double your growing space without taking up a single extra foot of ground. This is how tiny urban yards produce shocking amounts of food. Space isn't your limitation, your imagination is. The fifth zone is your composting zone, and this is the hidden engine behind everything else. Most beginners buy fertilizer every season and wonder why their soil never improves. But if you set up a simple compost bin using kitchen scraps, yard waste, and leaves, you create free, nutrient-rich soil that gets better every single year. This is the part nobody tells you. The wealthiest, most productive backyard farms aren't spending more money. They're recycling what they already have.
The sixth zone is your water zone, and this is where efficiency separates thriving farms from struggling ones. A simple rain barrel connected to your gutter system can collect hundreds of gallons of free water every time it rains. That's water you're not paying for, water that's better for your plants than treated tap water. Set up drip irrigation on a timer, and you've just automated the most time-consuming part of gardening. And finally, the seventh and final zone is your herb and medicinal zone. Small, often overlooked, but incredibly valuable. A simple container garden with basil, mint, rosemary, and thyme can save you $15 to $20 a month on grocery store herbs alone. And many of these plants double as natural remedies people have used for generations. Now, here's the transformation. Picture this. 6 months ago, you were spending $400 to $600 a month on groceries, driving to the store multiple times a week, completely dependent on supply chains and rising prices. Now, picture the after. You walk into your backyard and pick fresh lettuce, tomatoes, herbs, and eggs. You're not eliminating grocery shopping completely, but you're cutting your produce and egg spending by 50 to 70%. You're eating food that's fresher, healthier, and free of the chemicals used in mass production. And beyond the money, there's something deeper happening. You're not just saving cash, you're gaining control, independence, a skill that no inflation, no supply chain issue, no crisis can take away from you. This is what a mini farm really gives you, not just food, freedom. So here's my challenge for you. Pick one zone from this video, just one. Maybe it's a single raised bed, maybe it's 3 chickens, maybe it's a compost bin in the corner of your yard. Start there this week. Because the truth is, most people never begin not because it's too hard, but because they're waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect setup, the perfect knowledge. That moment doesn't exist. It starts the day you put a shovel in the ground. If this video gave you a spark of motivation, tell me in the comments which zone you're starting with first. And if you want more step-by-step guides on turning your backyard into a self-sufficient mini farm, subscribe, because this is only the beginning of what your backyard can become.